Hello, good morning. It's Audrey June, aka Soft Child Oracle. I am here today with you, and I have been working through my own internal struggle, integrating, understanding the things, the emotional vestiges, the distortions, and the things that I personally have been in denial of in my life that has held me back so far, right? So I'm here with my medicine card deck, and the first question I really want to ask Spirit is, how do we maintain and establish equanimity, right? And equanimity is emotional constancy. It is the ability to maintain our own thought processes in the midst of conflict and chaos. And we're at a moment right now where there's a lot of that. So it's essential for us to be able to hold our energy. So that's the question that I'm asking. Like, how can we maintain our equanimity and hold in our energy in moments of intense conflict and pain? All right. So we got number 43. 4 plus 3 is 7, which is initiation, is balance, is chosen, is a very spiritual number. And we have the spider, right? And let's look at our spider. We see that she has created her own web. The spider within Native American, many Native American traditions, spider is the dream keeper. She is the creatrix. She is divine feminine energy. She is able to be both protector and nourisher. So when I see this card, I think about the spider. I think about being able to create our own reality, being able to really look at ourselves and to remember in every moment that we make the choice of how we act, how we react. My mom was saying this to me, is that in order to maintain our own emotional constancy and to grow up and to mature, we need to be able to move past reaction. To respond and to react are two different things. So to develop our own equanimity and our own emotional balances and our own mindset in order to keep in and protect our energy, we need to remember at every moment that we are the creator, right? We are the one that is in control of our reality. What we do brings back the energy to us. So that's kind of the law of karma, that whatever we put out into the universe comes right back at us, right? My love says this too all the time. It's like, whatever you get is what you had put out. And so sometimes that can create a frustration, because if you're anything like me, it kind of takes you a little bit longer to reflect and contemplate and to see those cycles. So it's almost like you're getting the karma from the moments where you reacted. Once you get to a point of understanding and introspection, so that's what I see in the spider. Let's see what our book has to say about spider energy. So 43, weaving. Spider, weaving webs of delight, weave me a peaceful world, carrying creation in your web, waiting to be unfurled. Spider wove the web that brought humans the first picture of the alphabet. The letters were part of the angles of her web. Deer asked Spider what she was weaving and why all the lines looked like symbols. Spider replied, "Why, dear, it is time for Earth's children to learn to make records of their progress in their Earth walk." Deer answered Spider, "But they already have pictures that show through symbols the stories of their experiences." "Yes," Spider said, "but Earth's children are growing more complex, and their future generations will need to know more. The ones to come won't remember how to read the petroglyphs." So it was that Spider wove the first primordial alphabet, as she had woven the dream of the world that had become manifest. Spider's dream of the physical world had come to fruition millions of years before. Spider's body is made like the number 8, consisting of 2 lobe-like parts connected at the waist and 8 legs. Spider is a symbol for the infinite possibilities of creation. Her 8 legs represent the 4 winds of change and the 4 directions on the medicine wheel. Spider weaves the webs of fate for those who get caught in her web and become her dinner. This is similar to humans who get caught in the web of illusion in the physical world and never see beyond the horizon into the other dimensions. So if we come back to our question of equanimity and maintaining our energy, it's a matter of remembering that in every moment, we are the creator. We can always change the atmosphere. We can always change how we feel. Feelings don't have to happen to us. We need to remember our power as a sovereign, creative being, that at any moment we can move into a different energy. The web of fate also represents a wheel of life, which does not include any alternatives or solutions. It is typically human to get caught in the polarity of good or bad fortune without realizing that we can change it at any time. If we are not decisive enough about changing our lots in life, we may end up being consumed by our fears and limitations. So the distortion of fear is the ultimate thing that holds us back when it comes to our sovereign creative being. When I say distortion, I'm talking about it's an illusion, it's not real. Our fears exist because they have been programmed into us. So in order for us to be able to maintain balance within self and maintain our own energy, we have to remember that everything around us reflects our energy. So it's a matter of coming back into self. If you're the kind of person that needs to walk away, and I hear the owl for confirmation, owl is secrets, owl is symbol of wisdom, right? And the 3 owl's heads right here, actually, you can kind of see it out there. Those are called the owl's heads. I am right now up the mountain in the Cordilleras, right outside of my parents' house. But anyway, to come back to it, we have the moment. We ourselves have the creative power to change our energy and our mindset at any moment. Spider is the female energy of the creative force that weaves the beautiful designs of life. Her web has hundreds of intricate patterns which catch the morning dew. If Spider has dropped from her web into your cards, she may be telling you to create your own reality. Look for new alternatives to your present impasse. She can also be warning you that you're coming too close to an entangling situation. Spider could be asking you to use a journal to write out and review your progress. If you do this, you will not forget how you are creating a new or different phase in your life. Spider brings a message of a different kind when she sees you becoming a bit too involved in the weaving of your life plans to notice opportunity at the outskirts of your web, right? So this again comes back to surrender to the divine will. It comes back to trying to step back and to follow our divine purpose instead of trying to force change, force ourselves to be the way that we're supposed to be, right? The way we're supposed to be is natural, it's free. The more we come into our authentic self, the happier we are, and the more aligned we are, and the more easily we can be vessels for the divine. I personally, last night, I had a very good, calming, intense sleep life, and I felt the presence of somebody I knew, like in astral form, there to reassure and guide me. Those things are becoming more real at this moment in time because we have changed and shifted timelines. So remember to follow that, to follow your guidance, not to be so stuck on creating a limited reality. Step into your multidimensional self. Remember that we are all bits and pieces of the same divine spark. Something you have been woven has borne fruit. Congratulations. Spider caught you just in time before you missed the opportunity on the edge of your web or reality. The most important message from Spider is that you are an infinite being who will continue to weave the patterns of life and living throughout time. Do not fail to see the expansiveness of the eternal plan, right? So, spider medicine is for us to recognize our own divine potential. And in order for us to move past the fear of the distortions and to fully work through our cycle, we need to remember our sovereign power as a creator and that we have the power to move beyond reactions, to move beyond the external, and to cultivate that equanimity within self by remembering our own sovereign power. So that's the message as far as our medicine cards are concerned. I'm going to pull from the Earth Warriors Oracle as well. And for this one, I'm going to ask the question of Spirit. What message do you have for us once we're able to step into our sovereign power? So give us a message as far as our sovereignty is concerned, our multidimensionality. Oh, wow. All right. Wow. I see Panthera. Panthera is the one that jumped out at me. So 30 breaks down into 3. 3 is the Empress. So on this card is gorgeous. You can see the Panther, right? The Panther is a warrior. The Panther is a protector. The Panther is a wise leader. And then we see the butterfly up here. The butterfly is white. So white signifies the crown. So the crown of transformation, moving past the distortions, past the shadows, being guided by our panther. We see the lotus down here. Lotuses represent the emotions, represent love, represent a higher unconditional love. In the background here, we see the sun, right? The sun illuminates the reality of our situation. And then we have on the other side the full moon. We just came, I don't know, this morning when I came out at dawn and I watched the moon. And the moon is waning from its fullness on the 3rd, and it just looks so beautiful and divine in that sky, right? And it was the full moon in Aquarius. So we really are breaking down those distortions, and the sun is illuminating the reality of our current situation. Remember, within Native American traditions, the sun is the feminine and the moon is the masculine. The masculine reflects the feminine. Within the twin flame journey, the feminine is the one that heals first a lot of the time, and then the masculine leads, right? And remember, we have both feminine and masculine within us, receptive and expressive, right? Receptive is our ability to feel through and receive other people's, it's to be an empath, versus expressive is more that active force, that Mars energy. And so we have the woman here, and then her hair is kind of like, you can see the her crown is kind of coming up through the sun, right? Her crown is connected to that sun, and then the third eye is here, also illuminated, and her throat has the same white crown chakra energy. And then we have a medicine wheel down here and a mountain in the background. This mountain is beautiful to me because it actually reminds me of exactly where we are, like where I am physically right now. So I'm going to read from the book. This card, though, it says the precious and rare. This card is really, to me, speaking on the fact that we ourselves have a unique divine purpose. So in order for us to uncover that purpose, we need to move beyond the distortions, the denial, and the programming of this world. It tries to keep us down with fear energy. So we really need to move past that fear energy. So our faith and optimism are not meant to make us complacent, but rather to encourage us to believe that our action in the world will have a positive and real effect. There are situations where your voice, your courage, and your fearless determination are needed. You will make a difference. Cast helplessness or despair aside and find the fighter within. Fight for that which needs defending with all of your heart. Do not yield. You have the strength to handle any challenge or even the ones that intimidate you. You may feel that you're alone in the fight sometimes, but there are forces of good in spirit and upon the earth that are fighting with you, supporting you, believing in you, assisting you, and championing your success. It may not always feel like it, but you are not in this alone. There's help at hand to uncover a hidden piece of information which will allow truth and justice to prevail, right? We are light workers. We are bringing in this awakening. We are fighting against these unseen forces that are keeping people complacent and making people feel limited. We are not limited. We are unlimited beings. Do not give up on yourself or the divine. You are not overreacting or making things seem more important than they are in truth. When in the face of possible loss, something deep in your soul recoils in horror. It is a sign that something is not right. It is not a sign that we are too attached or not trusting enough in the divine to figure everything out. It is a sign that we must fight to safeguard what would otherwise perish. We are not here to be passive consumers of whatever the dominant mainstream consciousness tries to enact in the world, right? So this coronavirus. We are here to be the embodiment of loving consciousness, to be the fearless, determined, and actors of wisdom. We are here to educate, to inform, to rebel, and to refuse, to speak up, to make waves, and to honor the light in such a way that we protect and preserve what has real value in this world. The body, the earth, and her creatures are not illusions. Saying that they are not real is not spiritual wisdom. That is an unholy deception perpetuated by the forces that don't want sacred activists derailing their devastating behaviors that place profit above all else. Those of the Matses tribe of South America are known as the Jaguar people. Exposure to outside influences and grabs for their land have changed their economy, introduced diseases, and challenged the continuing existence of their culture. Their innate spiritual right to live as they choose has been violated. Short-sightedness, such as the exploitation of their lands for financial greed, is never part of the divine plan. We know this because the pure of heart recoil in horror and disgust at such events. The recoil of the heart lets us know that the divine is not in that situation and has not created that situation. It has been created through the operation of darkness and the misuse of human free will. Human free will, also cosmic free will, right? We have people here in this matrix that have created a system that's unnatural to Gaia. Gaia is not happy. The divine is very much needed to correct and restore the situation before negative use of free will creates irreversible damage. We have the power to evoke that protective and corrective presence through the wise use of our own free will, which involves taking conscious action while praying for courage, inspiration, assistance, and protection. Such sacred activism builds self-esteem and boosts our belief in what is possible for wise and courageous people to create together. We can become unwilling to be hoodwinked, to be made feel unimportant in the face of unjust destruction, right? So a lot of the time, people who really are of the light can start to feel discouraged because the darkness is so prevalent right now. But remember that the divine is on our side. Our ancestors are here. Our guides are here. And it's not just you alone. There are light workers. There are people who are divine, sacred activists across this planet that are doing the same work as you. So it's your job not to give up hope. It's your job to understand that what you're doing is right. Treasuring what is sacred, original, and worth preserving in human culture is part of our task, and those who are aware enough to recognize it. One of the tribal wisdom of the Matse is that the best way to contribute is to do what one does best, right? This comes back to the spider. This comes back to the creatrix. In order to be in divine destiny and the divine purpose, you do what your heart makes your heart feel glad. That is true alignment. She knows how to heal any ilms within her realm. All we need to do is follow the urgings of our heart with confidence, and all that we need to know will be imparted so her beautiful will can be brought to bear. So, repeat after me. Spirit of Black Jaguar reveals my courage, conviction, purpose, and passion. I am freed from constraint. I am made ready in this moment and for all moments to come by the grace of the divine feminine. I am willing to participate fully in my life, to take action upon the divine urgings of my heart for the greatest good. I will not be shamed and silenced. I will take action every day in whatever ways I can, with fierce compassion in my heart and sacred rebellious fire in my belly. May divine purpose manifest through our willingness and talent and through our faith in ourselves, each other, and the divine. So be it. So remember, you are the creatrix of your life. You are the divine jaguar. You are what you've been waiting for. I love you. Have a lovely day. Namaste.